In 1957, Leave It to Beaver made its debut and quickly became one of America's most beloved sitcoms. The story of little Theodore Beaver Cleaver, his brother Wally, and their wholesome suburban family painted a picture of the ideal American home. But behind all that perfect charm were some pretty strange, surprising, and even heartbreaking stories most fans never heard. So today, we're diving into 10 weird facts about Leave It to Beaver that'll completely change how you see this TV classic. Fact number 1. The most iconic episodes of the show, In the Soup, aired in 1961. And it wasn't just famous for its funny plot, it was also the priciest episode ever made. To film the scene where Beaver climbs onto a giant billboard and gets stuck inside a fake bowl of soup, producers had to build 2 full-sized billboards, one outdoors and another indoors for close-ups. That stunt alone cost nearly $50,000, which was a fortune for a sitcom at the time. It was so expensive that the producers had to cut costs for the rest of the season, focusing more on indoor scenes and smaller storylines just to balance the budget. Fact 2. Why Judy Hensler suddenly disappeared. Jerry Weil, who played Beaver's smart aleck classmate Judy Hensler, was in 31 episodes before suddenly vanishing from the show. The truth? She wasn't fired, she quit. As a young teen, Jerry began going through puberty, and the experience became uncomfortable on set. In interviews years later, she admitted she felt embarrassed when her body started changing and the crew made her bind her chest to appear younger. One particularly awkward scene pushed her to the limit, and she decided to walk away from acting altogether. She later said, "They didn't fire me, I let them go." Fact 3. Hugh Beaumont's hidden tragedy on screen. Hugh Beaumont played Ward Cleaver, the calm, perfect father every family wished they had. But off-screen, his life was marked by tragedy. During the show's 3rd season, his wife, son, and mother-in-law were in a terrible car accident. His mother-in-law was killed, and his son was badly injured. From that point on, Beaumont carried a quiet sadness behind his warm smile. Even as the world saw him as the model dad, every episode reminded him of the personal pain he had to hide behind that gentle expression. Fact 4. The mystery of Larry Mondello's disappearance. Remember Beaver's chubby best friend Larry Mondello? One day he was there, and the next he was gone, with no explanation. Rusty Stevens, who played Larry, didn't quit because he wanted to. It was his mother. She reportedly became too demanding with producers, and the situation grew tense. When the Stevens family moved from California to Philadelphia, the producers decided not to bring him back. Larry was quietly replaced by a new character, Gilbert, who filled the same troublemaker best friend role, though true fans could tell it wasn't quite the same. Fact 5. The brothers were close in real life. Beaver and Wally weren't just brothers on screen. They were like real siblings in real life too. Jerry Mathers and Tony Dow met as kids when the show began, and their bond lasted for decades. They stayed close long after the series ended, even performing together in stage plays and staying in touch throughout their adult lives. Their chemistry wasn't acting, it was genuine friendship. In fact, in real life, Jerry was actually older than Tony, even though he played the younger brother on the show. Fact 6. The cast wasn't allowed to watch their own show. Here's a strange one. The child actors on Leave It to Beaver weren't allowed to watch themselves on TV. Producers thought watching their performances might make them arrogant or self-conscious. So while millions of viewers tuned in every week, Jerry and Tony had never even seen most of their own episodes. Tony Dow once said he didn't see many of them until years later. Imagine becoming a national icon and not even knowing what your own show looked like. Fact 7. The first toilet ever seen on American TV. This one's legendary. In the 1957 episode Captain Jack, the show became the first in American television history to show a toilet. Well, part of one anyway. When Beaver and Wally decided to raise a baby alligator, they hid it in the toilet tank, and just showing that tank caused a huge uproar. Back then, even mentioning a toilet on TV was considered improper. Censors almost banned the scene, but producers managed a compromise. They could show the tank and the handle, but not the bowl. That few seconds of screen time made Leave It to Beaver part of TV history. Fact 8. Tony Dow was a junior Olympic diver. Before Tony Dow became Wally Cleaver, he was already a champion athlete. At just 9 years old, he competed in junior Olympic diving, and even set a record in his age group. His athletic background gave him the discipline that later helped him succeed in Hollywood. In fact, he only got into acting because his mom took him to an audition he didn't even want to attend. And the rest, as they say, is history. Fact 9. The characters actually grew up. Unlike most sitcoms that kept characters the same age forever, Leave It to Beaver did something groundbreaking. It let the kids grow up naturally. As the seasons went on, Beaver went from an innocent little boy to a more mature teen, while Wally transitioned from middle school to high school and eventually to graduation. This gave the show a rare sense of realism. Audiences got to grow up with them, watching their humor, lessons, and mistakes evolve just like real life. Fact 10. Jerry Mathers was never on I Love Lucy for decades. Fans swore they saw young Jerry Mathers appear in an I Love Lucy dream sequence. The resemblance was uncanny, but it wasn't him. Mathers cleared it up himself in 2019, saying he never appeared on I Love Lucy. Production records later confirmed the boy people thought was Jerry was actually played by twins named Joseph and Michael Mayer. So that long-running Beaver in Lucy's World rumor, totally false! And there you have it. 10 weird, fascinating facts about Leave It to Beaver. It's a reminder that behind every perfect TV family, there's a whole lot more than meets the eye. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more classic TV and movie secrets from the golden age of Hollywood.